Welcome to episode 59 of the Twig Snapper Podcast. Today we're joined by Brady Fleurent. I've been working on setting this up for a long time. We finally got a time that works. So how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad we finally were able to get a time that works.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of success at each level that you've played, so we'll kind of talk about each of that, and might as well start in college. With your college hockey success. You played the University of New England, Division III, at 181 points in 110 games. You were captain 2 years. You had a lot of conference accolades, national accolades, all kinds of different stuff. So, like, as a young player, for you, was it hard to not let some of that stuff go right to your head and just like to focus on hockey and school and everything with all that extra stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always good to get recognized for your hard work and all that. When I was a home, I played in my hometown as well, so I kind of got the whole hometown hero type of thing. So it's definitely could be a little distracting to with the task at hand, but I think it just personally made me work harder to realize that you have all those awards and you want to for your teammates, you want to stick to it and play well and focus on school and focus on the little things that made you that be successful. So I think it was all about the hard work and you just can't think about it honestly. You just play hockey every day and enjoy playing and I think things just if you work hard and play the right way, good things are going to happen. And I just was fortunate enough to win some of those and do well in college.
So is that the reason why you chose the University of New England? Because it was hometown and you wanted to play in front of people you knew, your family, friends, everything?
Really, the big reason why I went. My brother was there for 2 years as well, so he that was a big reason why I went, and I wanted to stay close to home so my parents and family and friends could always watch me. So it was kind of I after I decided not to go Division 1 with this all the schools and all the process, I thought uni was just a it was a no brainer, and I had the time of my life there, and I'm very happy with the decision I made, and got to stay close to home and play with my brother, which was pretty special.
Were you thinking about like hockey after college at all when you were making your decision? Like, did you know you wanted to keep playing when you were picking colleges?
I definitely wanted to keep playing. It was my dream I've always had is to play pro. I mean, I didn't know if it would be achieved or anything, but I definitely always wanted to. And then I was just fortunate enough that I found the right fit for me at uni and did well, and fortunate to get some offers after college and to still be playing now.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned playing with your brother. What was that like? Like you get to play college hockey with your brother. Not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah, it was awesome. We played together since every level, since mites all the way through college. So it's pretty remarkable. It was honestly the best thing ever. We were line mates both years. We were line mates in high school, juniors. So it was definitely something pretty special, and not many people get to say that they played college with their brother. So we were roommates in college as well. So it was kind of awesome, and it definitely made college a very good experience because he was captain my first 2 years, and then he left and I took over. So it was definitely something pretty special and something I'll always remember.
You guys must have had a pretty good sibling relationship then. If you decided to be roommates and play hockey at the same place, some people obviously, siblings don't always get along.
Yeah, we're best friends. We've growing up in our town in Biddeford, our entire street, we were the two youngest, and we had a bunch of hockey, baseball players in our neighborhood. So we always got put together from a young age, and we just had a special bond ever since. And I was his best man this summer at his wedding, so it's we've always been close, and we still are to this day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like you said, you were line mates. Obviously, if you went to college and you like played with the same line mate in high school, that's an advantage. But when it's your own brother, that's like a bond and like chemistry that you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah, we had some really good chemistry. A lot of people say like we make plays that probably shouldn't be, and I just know where he is at all times, and I'm just sometimes throwing the puck, and I know he's going to be there. It's right on his tape, and people kind of don't realize how that happens. But we've always just had that chemistry, and on and off the ice, it's always been there. So on the ice, it definitely helps. And to this day, we play men's league together on the same line, and chemistry's still there. It's easy making plays together. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure. And then coming out of college, you played with the Atlanta Gladiators. So, kind of guess talk about finishing your season and then like kind of moving into Atlanta and how that all worked out for you.
Yeah, it was. We lost in the NCAA tournament, and then like 2 days later, I got a call from Atlanta, and I was on a flight to Atlanta to go play. And they were on the playoff. They were trying to battle for playoffs, so I played. I think the last 7 games there for a couple weeks, and it was definitely a little transition coming from college right to pro, hopping right into a game like that. I've always worn a cage my entire life, and I go right into a visor, and it was definitely a little different coming D3 to ECHL, but it was awesome. I loved it. It was kind of eye opening moving from like small town in Maine to a big city like Atlanta, and just how different college versus pro can be. So it was definitely a little difficult transition at first, but I enjoyed my time there, and I loved it, and I wanted to keep playing. So yeah, it was. We ended up losing our last game of the year to not make playoffs, which was sad. But I went back to UNE right after and got to graduate, and then kind of got the focus on playing after that because I was still taking classes while I was playing in Atlanta, which was pretty
Yeah,
difficult.
right. I can imagine. I mean, it's hard enough to
Yeah,
be a like a college athlete taking classes. Now you're a pro athlete trying to take classes. You're in a different city and just
yeah.
a mess. Sounds like you had zero time to rest after the NCAA tournament. You said 2 days later you were on a flight.
It was like we lost Saturday, and Monday or Tuesday I was on a flight already in Atlanta. So it was a quick transition. I didn't have any time to. I really didn't even get time to think about it. I just kind of jumped right on it, and yeah, not much time after. That's for sure.
It sounds like that's a pretty common thread with different guys I've interviewed going to the ECHL. They, whether it's they're in the ECHL and they get traded or moved to a team or it's coming out of college. I mean, you're on a flight, sometimes you're traveling for 15 hours straight and then you have to play the next night or something
Yeah,
on like no sleep. It's just
yeah.
a brutal.
So it can be the travel can definitely be a little tough when it comes to that. Like on my way to Adirondack here, I drove for 15 hours straight and then played the next like all day. I got in at 1 a.m. and played the next day. So it was, and I had to be at morning skate in like 7 hours and just a lot of travel. It can be, you can kind of go just like that. You're somewhere and you never really know, and you can be somewhere new the next day, which is just the lifestyle. But yeah,
Right. And that's something that college doesn't prepare you for. Like college athletics, you play only on the weekends and you know exactly where you're going and you're with the same team.
exactly. You're used to the same guys, same team. Like you're practicing Monday through Thursday, play Friday, Saturday, whatever. Yeah, it's definitely in pro. There's definitely a lot of transition. Can have new teammates a bunch, a lot of turnover. So yeah, it's kind of a revolving door, and it's just a lifestyle. You gotta embrace it.
Right, right. Hard to get used to at first, but once you do, you kind of figure out the system and like, all the teams kind of work the same way and the way it all shakes out. Over the last 4 years, you've played what 100 SPHL games and now 86 ECHL games. This you were playing with Knoxville earlier in the year with in the SP, and then like you said, you got pulled up to Adirondack. So I guess talk about that for a little bit. You were having a lot of success in the SB before you got pulled up. You were one of the leading scorers, and then you went up to Adirondack.
Yeah, I've been kind of off and on for the last 3 to 4 years with COVID and stuff between the SPHL and ECHL. Um, this year, I started back in Atlanta for a bit, and then I went to Knoxville, and I was just kind of like 4 year guy, kind of being first line power play, all that, and I had a good start, and I was playing well, had a lot of confidence, and yeah, I loved it. I was loving it in Knoxville, and then I got the call from Peter MacArthur here, and it was kind of a no-brainer to take, being close to home and being in ECHL is always a dream. You want to play at the highest level you can. So, yeah, I mean, I love my time in Knoxville the past couple of years. I kind of have never been there for a full season besides the COVID year, but yeah, I enjoy it there. I love everything they have to offer. So I had a good start, and once the calls came, I just been working hard, doing everything I can to stay here, and it's been going well here in Adirondack.
So obviously you had played with in the ECHL before, but
Yep.
like when you get kind of used to playing in the SPHL, is it hard to adjust mid-season to then playing in the ECHL?
A little bit. They're pretty similar. You see a lot of SPHL guys that come right up and they do well in the ECHL. Like there's not that much of a jump, I think, and honestly, it's all about where you are, like where you like and where you're the happiest as well. I know some guys some like can be happier in SPHL and they do better there and all that. So I don't think it's too much of a transition or jump, but like anytime you go from a different team mid-season to a different team, it can be definitely a transition no matter what because you get new teammates and it can just be mentally a little different coming to be the new guy on the team.
Yeah, exactly. It's always hard to be the new kid or the new guy and have to try to fit into a group that's already got chemistry. They've already got things figured out. And like we talked about, you don't really have a lot of time to figure things out either. Like when you show up, you're expected to play that day or the next day, and you got to try to figure out everything that everyone else already, has memorized, or, they've got their plays, and you've got to try to figure everything out.
Yeah, you kind of get thrown into the fire a little bit, and you have to be ready. If you're not, you can be gone that quick too. So it's definitely you gotta be professional and be ready to go right when you get there. So it can be a lot, like body wise, like you said, after travel or even mentally, like you're trying to play catch up a bit, being a new guy, and you kind of just got to be ready to go.
Yeah, I guess that's one good thing about being around the league for a couple of years. You kind of what to expect. Like when you're that college kid, you get thrown into the fire. It's obviously a lot harder to adjust. But when you've been around the league for 4 years, you know what to expect. You've got to figure it out.
Absolutely. Coming into Adirondack was, I think I've been around a bit that I know what to expect by now. And I already had four past teammates in Adirondack. I knew a bunch of the guys. So when you kind of go around the league and been in there, but you meet a bunch of like different teammates and stuff. So I definitely, I think, had a little bit of advantage come here and kind of knew what to expect and what to be ready to play here.
Yeah, exactly. You're the fourth Adirondack player that we've had on the podcast. A few guys have, I think we had Robbie Payne. He played a year, and then Chris Leidsman. He played a year with Adirondack. We had Marix. He played. Well, he's still with you guys. And then yeah, you're the fourth. So making our rounds on the Adirondack players, I guess.
But I love it.
You've over the last 4 years, obviously we had COVID in there and different things, but you've played with multiple different teams, bouncing around a little bit. Do you think that's hard to try to like maintain some success when you're bouncing around?
Well, yes, it can be. It's definitely hard to try and keep your composure. And hockey is like success comes when like you're hot. Sometimes you're hot, everything goes your way. Other times you're cold, nothing goes your way. So like it's hard to keep the success if you're moving around. Like my rookie year was definitely pretty tough because I was bouncing around from team to team for like 2 months at a time, a month at a time. So that was definitely pretty difficult to be like you can't really have that much success if you're knowing you're only here for a short time or it's like or you have a short lease, stuff like that. So it's definitely difficult when you do, and that's why I think as a 4 year guy you kind of like have to like I have the little things to realize like how to be successful now in this league by like coming here right off the bat. I from Knoxville I kind of knew little things, so it was definitely easier transition in this one to come here and be successful. But it definitely is when you're moving around a lot and you're becoming the new guy, like we said, and all that. It's not easy to be successful as you come right in, and you're changing teams and personnel and all that.
Yeah. If you had to give like one piece of advice to a younger guy who is in that stage where he's bouncing around and someone who's kind of struggling that, what would you say? Like what would you wish somebody told you?
I just think it's take advantage of the opportunity and work hard. Like, if I think coaches in this league, kind of any league, if you work hard and give it your all, and they're gonna like you're even if you don't stick, you're still gonna have a good like word of mouth that this kid, he works hard, he took advantage of his opportunity. If you don't come ready to go, then I think word of mouth can also screw you up a bit, and I think you just always have to be ready to go.
Yeah, so you just always got to be
Like,
ready and just treat every opportunity like it's your only opportunity almost.
exactly. Like, every opportunity is important, and if you don't do well on your first one, like, I just think you always be ready to seize your opportunity, because they don't come around that often. So if you get it, I think you do well with it, and you never know, you can stick there or whatever. I just think you always have to be ready to go for that opportunity, and I think hard work is a big deal with that. And I just think just being a good human, being a good person in the locker room. Nobody likes a bad guy in the locker room too. So
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be that one guy that nobody likes, especially if
yeah,
you're new on the team. You want to make friends, you don't want to make enemies.
exactly.
All right, yeah, I think that's well put. What about like your best hockey story? I mean, throughout your playing career, whether it's pro or college or something that just sticks out in your mind.
Um, I have a few. I got high school when I was a freshman. My brother was a senior, and we won state championship in Maine high school hockey. That was the first time. That was pretty special. And then my senior year in college at UNE, we won the first our conference championship and made the NCAA tournament for the first time ever in school history. So that was definitely pretty special for me. And I'd say probably my first pro goal in Atlanta was definitely pretty special. It was nice. Derek Nesbitt, from being one of the biggest legends of the ECHL, made a nice
Yeah.
pass to me, and to bury that and have my first pro goal from a guy like that was just definitely something I'll always remember.
Yeah, a big memory. Like obviously your first pro goal would have been a huge memory regardless, but when you have it from a legend like you said in the ECHL, kind of adds to that cherry on top,
Yeah,
makes it a little
absolutely.
sweeter.
Yeah,
And
I
then
agree.
obviously, like you said, a high school championship, it's like your first taste of success, your first big, a lot of, people recognize high school championships as a pretty big achievement. Obviously, people win mites and different things, but it's like the first major chance that hockey players have to win.
Yeah, and it was the whole city was there. The whole city was behind us. Like, Maine high school hockey is pretty big, especially then. We had a lot of guys go on and play college and everything. So there's definitely a really great memory. My first kind of big hockey memory that I could kind of have circled.
Yeah, definitely. So I figured we'd wrap it up here. Are you a March Madness guy?
Oh yeah, we just made brackets here. I'm
Do you
excited.
guys like have a group for the team
Yeah,
compete and see who's the best?
yeah, we just all made brackets. We're on the road in Newfoundland this week, so we all made brackets yesterday at the airport. So I'm real excited. It just got started, so I'm real excited for it.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you have
Yeah.
winning it all?
Oh, I gotta go with my Knoxville boys and go with the Tennessee Volunteers.
Really?
Oh
You
yeah,
got a 4 seed running it.
yeah,
That could happen.
yeah,
I'd like to see a lower seed win it, honestly.
yeah. I got them. I think I got them. Houston. I got Houston going pretty far as well. So I think the Vols can take care of business. So I want them to be a dark horse.
Yeah, definitely. I think this year's got a lot of dark horses. I mean, you look, there's a lot of really even teams. There's only a handful of teams, Houston, and then a few of the smaller schools that have like 30, 31 wins. Everyone else is kind of hovering around that like 20 to 25 wins. Teams are really close. Most of the teams from the conference have like beaten each other. Kansas has lost to different people and everyone. And you even look at Alabama, number one overall seed, and they've got some big losses. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a crazy year.
I agree.
Exciting. I've got
Yeah.
Purdue to win it all. I don't know. I
Oh,
feel
okay.
like I can't go against Zach Edey, a 7'2" or whatever he is, just a
Yeah.
monster. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
They scare me. They scare me when they play the Vols, but
Yeah,
that's all
it
right.
it'll be fun. I love March Madness. Like
Sick.
even people who aren't basketball fans, like that's the one time people tune into basketball is just March Madness, just for that reason because it's so crazy. So
Yeah.
Tennessee and then I got Purdue, I guess. We'll see. We'll see which of us is right in the end. Maybe neither one of us will be right, I guess.
I guess so. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll let the madness begin, as they say.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on this episode of the pod. I'm glad we finally were able to connect.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.